Chapter 1. Moving in. Hi everyone. I'm not usually the kind of person who posts on Reddit, but I honestly don't know who else to tell this to. I don't really believe in paranormal stuff, but the last few weeks have shaken me to the core. A couple of months ago, I rented a small apartment. It was in an old Soviet-style building, but the location was perfect right in the city center, close to stores, cafes, and public transport. The rent was suspiciously cheap, but I didn't want to question my luck. The landlord, a man in his 50s, didn't say much during the handover. But there was one thing he mentioned that stuck with me. If you find anything left behind by the previous tenant, just throw it out. Don't think too much about it. At the time, I laughed. I figured he meant some old magazines or broken dishes. The first week was uneventful. I cleaned, rearranged furniture, and tried to make the place feel like mine. But when I pushed a heavy wardrobe to the side, I discovered a dusty cardboard box hidden behind it. Inside, there were some yellowed photos, a pen, and an old notebook wrapped in worn black leather. I opened it. On the very first page, written in large, shaky letters, were the words, "Do not read further if you want to sleep peacefully." I smirked and thought, what kind of weirdo lived here before me? Of course, I kept reading. Chapter 2. The entries. At first, the notebook seemed like the diary of a lonely man. He wrote about losing his job, feeling isolated, and how neighbors avoided him. But then the entries became stranger. He described hearing footsteps every night. Always at exactly 3:17 a.m. At first, in the hallway, then closer and closer to his bedroom door. He mentioned drawing symbols on the walls to keep them away. He described them as circles, triangles, numbers that didn't add up, and strange lines connecting everything. One page caught my attention. If you wake up at 3:17, do not breathe. They can hear your breath. I closed the notebook, creeped out. But later that night, my curiosity got the better of me. I set an alarm for 3:15 a.m. Chapter 3. The first night. The alarm buzzed. I lay flat on my bed, staring at the ceiling. For a while, everything was quiet. Then, I heard it. Soft footsteps in the hallway. At first, I told myself it must be the neighbors upstairs. But no, the sound was inside my apartment. Slow, deliberate steps, as if someone was making sure I heard every single one. At 3:17 on the dot, the footsteps stopped. Right outside my bedroom door. My heart pounded so loudly I thought I was going to pass out. Then came the whisper. I couldn't make out the words. It was a language I didn't recognize, like Latin mixed with hissing. The voice was so close it felt like it was seeping through the cracks of the door. I finally gathered the courage, jumped up, and yanked the door open. The hallway was empty. The light bulb flickered faintly, but nothing was there. I tried to laugh it off. Just my imagination. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. Chapter 4. The symbols. The next day, I decided to check the walls more carefully. And sure enough, beneath layers of wallpaper were faint markings. When I tore off more wallpaper in my bedroom, I found a large circle drawn above where the bed was placed. Inside it were strange shapes, triangles connected by lines, numbers scratched out, and symbols I didn't recognize. I went back to the notebook. On one page, the previous tenant had written, "Do not erase the symbols. They are the only thing keeping them out. Without them, they will come closer." But it was too late. I had already torn through several parts of the circle. That night, I had a dream. I was standing in my room, except everything was pitch black. In the corner, a tall shadow was waiting. I couldn't see its face, but I knew it was whispering my name. Chapter 5. The neighbor. The following morning, I ran into an old woman on the staircase while she was taking out the trash. I decided to ask her about the man who lived in my apartment before me. The moment I mentioned it, she froze. Her eyes widened, and her voice dropped. "You live in that apartment now?" "Yes," I replied. "What happened to him?" She hesitated, then whispered. "He disappeared. One day, he was just gone. Police came, asked questions, but they never found him." I asked if she had ever noticed the drawings on the walls. She nodded slowly. "He told us he had to keep drawing them. That they kept something away." We all thought he was losing his mind. And then, it went quiet. I pressed her further. Did he ever say who they were? She gave me a long, tired look and said, "If you hear them whisper, never answer back." Her words echoed in my head for the rest of the day. Chapter 6. The last page. Last night, I woke up without an alarm. My phone screen showed 3:17. No footsteps this time. Just silence. And then, the whisper. But it wasn't outside my door anymore. It was inside my bedroom. The voice was louder now, almost eager. My breath caught in my throat as I saw a shadow in the corner of the room. It didn't move. It didn't speak clearly. It just breathed. In panic, I grabbed the notebook and flipped to the last page. It looked rushed, almost scribbled. They want me to become their voice. If I disappear, it means I agreed. And below it, a line I swear wasn't there before. Now it's your turn. I stared at the words, shaking, while the whisper in the room grew louder and louder. This morning, I checked again. The line is still there. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to move out, but another part of me is terrified that if I leave, whatever they are will follow me. And every single night now, I wake up at 3:17 without an alarm. That's it for today's story, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, so you won't miss the next one. The best is still to come.